I'm assuming I'm live, so let me get started. Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know. In fact, now I have a loop. I don't know what's going on. I got a loop here. Just a minute. Let me see here. Well, that was unexpected. So let me see what I can do here. Oh, I think I probably need to close out YouTube. Let's see, where's YouTube at? Let's see here. Okay, I think I need to close this. YouTube live stream. Okay. Alrighty, so let me get back to where I was at. Anyways, so if you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTubes every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to attend the after party. Now, here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. And underneath that, I'm going to post a link as soon as I finish this monologue. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/S as in sunset, M as in Mary, F as in foxtrot. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching this on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic, please enter your questions or state your comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show. Now, understand that you must have a YouTube registration to put the enter the chat box, and that's only during a live stream as well. Now, I will post or tell our illustrious panel your question or your comment, but be patient. Sometimes I can't get a word in myself, but I will ask our panel your question or state your comment. Now, if you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the videos and comment. That all helps the channel grow. Please consider joining our YouTube channel memberships starting at $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. Now, with your memberships, you'll get special badges I can see in the YouTube chat, unlimited replay of member-only videos, and once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. You can also use the super chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box, to make donations if you don't want to do a monthly subscription. And again, that super chat is only available during the live stream. And I do these every Monday and Friday night at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of that so you can come in and during that time, make a donation. And if it's not convenient for you to watch the whole stream, at that time, come back and watch the replay. But we really appreciate your contributions and donations. And I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your children or grandchildren. So without any further ado, I'm going to post the link at Stunthangar. Let me see. This is our first time using a new platform, so bear with me if I'm kind of stumbling. So I'm posting the link now. It's a new link inside at the bench. You will see that link. It'll have the link for you to come in here. So let's see what happens tonight. Anyways, looks like I believe I've done everything I was supposed to do. YouTube is, I'm not sure, let me just see if YouTube is streaming this. I'm going to go to YouTube on my channel. Let's see here. So, pardon me, I'm going to do a little juggling around here. Yeah, it looks like it is live now, looks like. Let me go into my channel. Let me see here. Pardon me, I'm going to mute my mic here real quick, just so I don't cause any feedback myself. Let me play this. See if this is our first time. Yeah, it looks like it's working. I see myself. All right, so. Okay. Well, let's see if anybody comes in. Mike Lonkey says, I think we like the new Zoom platform. Thank you, Mike. I guess I have to do this a little differently than how I normally do this. Let me see here. So I guess I don't need that. Anyways, I went flying today. I'm going to kill some time here. I went flying today and flew my Chipmunk, and I had to repair the hinges. And thanks to Tom Rammel, he has a YouTube video. He has a YouTube channel. I think it's called Tom Rammel, and he had a video, DIY do-it-yourself video on how to make monocoque hinges. I've never done that before, and so I went to. He told me about his video. I watched it, and it was pretty straightforward. And so I did exactly what he showed on the video, and it worked great. I actually installed the monocoque hinges, and I was able to fly this plane, which I was really glad, because this plane is right now, it's the best flying plane I have right now. I mean, if I had to go to war, that's what I would probably go to a contest with. Is with this somewhat of a Chipmunk. I'm not sure if it's exactly the size and scale of a Chipmunk, but it looks like a Chipmunk, and flies pretty good. And then I was actually able to bring out my oldie but goodie, my red Strega. I have two Stregas. One is white and one's red. The red Strega I've campaigned for several years now. Most people would recognize that out here in California. I've been campaigning that for a while, and it was neat getting that old girl out, you know. But I have a new motor. I mean, a relatively new Stalker 81 has a lot of compression, and I'm having a difficulty getting that motor to run. It's a motor that I set up with no nitro. I use synthetic oil. I actually use clots, and there's no caster. So no caster, no nitro. And I just couldn't get the motor to run halfway decent. So I went and bought some cold glow plugs. Now, I've been flying off and on since I was a kid. I've never heard of a cold glow plug. I always thought hot was better. And I was watching the Wendy Winowski video, and he said that if you have a lot of compression, that you need to use a cool or cold glow plug. And that's the first time I ever heard that. I've seen cold plugs, medium plugs, hot plugs, very hot plugs, and I didn't know what the difference was and when to use what. So I got my red Strega running, At first, I couldn't get it running with the cold plug. I put a medium plug in, and there's 6 people. Let me see here. Okay, admit. Here we go. Hey, you guys. Let me turn up my volume. I muted my volume because I went on the YouTube side. So I got my registrator running. At first, I couldn't get it running with the cold plug. Let me plug in. And all righty. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can hear you guys. Great.
All right.
This is my first time using this Zoom Pro as the host. And it's a little different. The setup is different. So I had to, stumble a little bit, but I'm on my feet now, I think.
Seems to be working.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Gary.
Hi.
So welcome, Mark and Tom and John and Gary and Sparky, it looks like. And who else we have over here? I see another space. Don't recognize. And Jim.
There it is. It's
There he is.
Smith. Jim.
I saw his face walk by and there he's gone. Where'd he go?
Yeah, so everybody looks better.
Oh, geez. That's a great compliment.
Better.
How many years did I shave off?
I say at
Well,
least 5.
5 at least?
Yeah, at least 5. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if you missed the when we did a trial run in the after party, I actually grew hair on that meeting, the first one.
Yeah. Well, there
Was you
or
there, Tom?
there?
Was you there, Tom?
Yeah, I was there.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Everyone else is going,
Long hair. Charles had long hair.
Yeah, he got bit by the vampire.
hey, Tom, I'll get your package out next week. I got busy this week and forgot. I got it all packaged up. I just got to get to the post office.
That's okay. Thank you very much.
You betcha. You bet. It seems clear. The video is really good. I don't know how the audio is, but
it is. I'm looking forward to Gerald coming in, hopefully, and Lynn seems like he has a better connection than ever.
good.
So we'll see, and hopefully we can really test this thing and get. I think the most I've ever seen on here at one time is about 16 or 17 people, and we did experience a little degradation with that. So I'm really looking forward to pushing this. So if you know anybody who might be on the fence about coming in, invite them to come in. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna get Mike. It's a little bit different than the other platforms. I got it let people in.
Are we using Zoom now?
We're using Zoom now, Jim.
Yeah. Hi, Jim.
Okay.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for coming in, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
I can't see anybody else.
Oh, change your view. There's a speaker view and the other view is gallery. So try the
Gallery.
Click on gallery view.
There we go. Oh, look at that.
Yay.
Well, I can't stay up long. I got flying in the morning, but I thought I'd show you guys something I'm working on for the Nats.
Yeah, show us something.
All right.
Does this have a does this reverse the camera as well?
Yep.
It does fine. Yeah. Anything we're seeing seems like it's correct. I can see the end number on
All right.
John's airplane. It's good.
Okay. So I'm not taking my ME-263, but I am going to take my rocket. So I'm setting my rocket up. Mike said we're having rocket stuff. So let me get it together here.
Well, usually somebody shoots rockets. I'm not bringing any, but Dave Hallis is bringing me a bunch of his old ones for Sam, Jim.
Okay. All right. Well,
So
I'm bringing my red Max. So I'll show you.
Dave
here in a
Hallis
minute.
Dave Hallis messaged me and said he's got a bunch of old rockets and a bunch of motors. So as long as you got a launch platform and a igniter, something
Yeah.
to kick
I got a
them
big-
with, I think we can play with the stuff Dave is.
Okay, so
Goodness.
yeah, that's what I said. Now I just soldered up the first battery. I've got 4 12 volts in series, and in theory, when I hook these up, you can see the lights, right?
Yeah, I see.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. So I also have them. I have to finish soldering, but I'll do that tomorrow. And then I also have. Let's see if I can figure this out.
Cute.
That's the nose cone.
Um,
And all I got to do is so I'll bring a small launch rod. Can y'all see the lights in the cone?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so it stuffs in. It's got a big silk parachute. It uses these motors right here. If I can get around here where I can see. It's a SD, it's an F motor. And you pull the little red plug out, that's your ejection charge. Then you put your igniter in the nozzle, and the rocket motor goes in here, kind of. May need a little work. There we go. Stops there, and then you have a ring that comes over that and hooks up there. So it ought to be pretty cool. The last time I shot it there, see if I can get that to work again. Okay, something must have come undone when I was playing with this. Yes, it did. Okay, but at any rate, y'all see what it is.
I just want to know where you hooked the lines in the handle to.
Yeah. It doesn't go very high. It's
Really?
no, it's I put a stunt finish on it. So
Monaco?
no, brother, this ain't no Monaco.
Hey,
You have to
Charles.
Yeah, yes, Mike.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. It has a real. See if I can get a little closer.
Where's the hand? Yeah, where is it?
What's that? All right. So
I was
it's
asking
very.
Charles. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it has a stunt finish on it, Mike. It's all glossy, automotive paint. You know, I wasn't worried about weight. I don't want it to go very high. So it probably goes, I don't know, 500-600 feet, something like that. And the L pad is actually the rocket site at AMA.
Yeah.
So if you go out there and there's no jets in our way, we'll have a rocket we can shoot. So
Charles,
anyway,
Yeah, Mike, what's going on, Mike?
where is the raise hand feature here on this screen? I can't seem to find it tonight.
You go down to the bottom and hit the participants.
Oh, I got it. Okay. I see it now. All right. I just wanted to make sure I knew where it was so I could use it when the time came. Thank you.
You're welcome. Matter of fact, that's a good thing. She did.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to raise my hand because I wanted to ask Sparky something. Sparky, you there?
Yep.
What's your PayPal address again?
Cutting out.
Wow, we're losing you, Mike.
What
What the heck just happened there?
Hey, Mike, stop playing the banjo.
He's been abducted by aliens and they're probing him.
Mike, you need more banjo lessons. You're not ready to start on our first Zoom program.
There.
Hey, Sparky, that Continental looks very nice, man. It's a beautiful plane.
Yeah, I
Rubbing.
watched a little of you flying today.
Yeah, you need a bunch of trimming to do still, right?
Yeah, I can't get the motor running.
Yeah, no kidding. That'll be the first step. What's going on?
Can we try that again? Didn't hear any of that.
How do you send a message to a participant? Okay.
Just do the chat. There's that.
Yeah, just do it in the chat. Okay, that's fine. I got to go kick some kids off the internet. I got 3 kids over here all using devices and it's screwing me up. So I'll be back.
Alrighty.
I'm about to ruin their evenings.
Yeah.
You know, working's expensive. Be
What a
careful.
horrible dad.
Hey, Denny.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, thanks for coming in, Denny.
Hey, Danny.
It wasn't quite as natural as the other, but that's all right. I cannot believe it, how much clearer this is.
Oh,
It's much better.
Your voice is
Yeah,
amazing. Don't have
this
any
is-
of the.
The video is so much better and everything like that. So I'm gonna I guess I'm gonna be poking around and see what it is I can do here. So
Good.
How's your
All
plane
right, there we
coming,
go.
Danny?
we're hanging in there. Wes and I got out, been trying to practice every day, and things are really going well. So we've been getting lots of flights and everything like that. So I even had found time here to try to fly the backup airplane the other day. Just I hadn't flown it in 3 years. I figured if I'm going to have a backup, I ought to know it's going to work when I get there. So
Yep.
that went real well. So all in all, next week we're going to start with the critique sheets and get really serious with each other. So
Yeah, you got a long way to go. I just saw where Paul Walker posted on one of the forum subjects. He's only got 250 flights so far in his plane.
yeah, I saw. So good for him. I mean, really, I can't do anything about that.
Me neither.
I actually very happy with where I stand, where I'm flying right now. I feel very good about it. Like I said, we're going to start marking sheets on each other, and that's going to, really ratchet up the outcomes. I think, one flight with a critic is worth 50 flights with, flying by yourself. So
Yeah, flying by yourself, you only practice to get your mistakes.
yeah,
perfect.
250. I mean, even somebody as accomplished as Paul, and he's a spectacular flyer and had a long career success and stuff. But there just ain't no substitute for having a second set of eyes there. So I mean, somebody on the outside who is friendly, but not exactly your friend. If you know what I mean when it comes to these things.
I know that was the thing.
So, and when you do these, I'm sure you guys have all seen those, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So we'll do that with four color pens and mark it on the same sheet. Flight to flight. That way, when you mark with different colors and stuff, you can see where your bad habits are.
Good
So
idea.
Yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
a few of those bad habits.
hmm,
What's your
that's
what's
it. If it
what's
weren't for
what's
bad
your
habits,
worst
I
bad
wouldn't have any
habit?
at all. So yeah.
What's your worst bad habit?
Volunteering.
Okay, what's your
That-
worst flying technique bad habit?
Well,
Here's
for me, it's just getting the bottoms down on the reverse wing over to start with. Get my bottoms down.
I'll go for that.
Hmm.
Sparky
Yeah, the
has his
50
hand up.
the 15-foot corner on the reverse wing over. So the 15-point corner, I should say.
I wanted to know if
15.
Mike got my message.
Mike's chasing some kids around right now.
His face is frozen. The aliens are probing again. So.
Yeah. I think Mike was putting on a video or something like that to keep the kids from using the internet. So
My I have two places where I have my the bad habits. The intersection on horizontal 8, which I'm still dealing with it, and my vertical 8, the inside is above the outside maneuver at the intersection.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm going, if this is the intersection here, my inside maneuver starts here, the outside maneuver will go below.
yeah,
And I think
yeah, it's a
above,
common one.
and I'm going below again.
Hey,
I do this.
If you're in the gallery view, did you know you can move the people around the screen?
Yeah, no.
No?
Didn't know that.
Hey, hey,
In
just so you
gallery
guys
view-
know,
In
It's
gallery
big.
view, the person that has their hand up gets put in the upper right corner or upper left corner.
Okay.
I have my hand up.
You're
Did
in
you
the
get
right
my email address, Mike?
Yeah, I did. I got it, Sparky. Thank you.
Yeah, hey Jim, based on that, I just moved you right up top, right up in the top row. It's as simple as that. So
All right, there we go. All right.
Move from front row,
Well,
right?
this looks better.
that's it. That's it. The only one I can't move is me. So
All right, guys, I'm gonna sign out for tonight. I got to get my car in and get ready to go flying. I got to be at Wayne's at 7:15. So
all right.
tomorrow we got a good day tomorrow. All right.
All right.
So
Hey,
you
thanks.
guys have a good one.
Hey, good
I'll
for
see if
you,
I can
Jim.
figure out how to get out of here.
Good
Good luck,
night,
good luck tomorrow, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, let me catch up on the chat box. It's a little bit different than I'm accustomed to, but so everyone's here already. But Dan Winship says looks better on Zoom. Yes, I agree, Dan. It does look better. And he says I need one of those F motors to get that heavy stunner over the top of the wing over. And then Dennis, I saw you said hi, Charles. And Alex Third, he says, hi, Charles. Good evening to all. Greetings from Scotland. And then he goes on to say, hi, Big John. I will be building the French version of the Spectre. I have a new Enya 40 XDS Pro for it. And we're all caught up. And then Tryon, thank you for your contribution. You donated $10 on the super chat. Appreciate that very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. A little something.
Oh yeah, we you know what? It helps. It all helps. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
It'll help pay for this Zoom thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I've been watching your flights at the field, and I was like, holy moly. You and John, both of you, it's just problems.
I'll be ready. Don't worry about me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Any more flights there, man? More flights.
Yeah.
Just flight after flight after flight. If we just go out there, just put one flight and that's done. Oh, you have to run the motor home first. Make sure everything is perfect before you even go to the field.
Wrong answer. The problem with that engine was it was overheating the tank, and I couldn't figure that out. So I called Randy, had to take it back home, and it wouldn't have done anything on the ground. It only
Okay.
happens after the vertical 8. But
Overheating the tank. I never heard of that. Can you explain?
yeah, it's a rear exhaust muffler, PA75, and the muffler is close to the tank. So I had to insulate the tank. And it was boiling the tank over or whatever. So
Bubbling the
Cooking-
fuel.
Cooking the fuel.
yeah, it makes the oil go thin, and it causes a rich condition.
Yeah.
I mean, it really richened up.
Wow,
know,
that's
Gordon had one of his planes. He had to put is either Gordon or Pete Peterson. He put a piece of balsa just between the pipe and the tank.
Yeah, that's what I did I made a box, a balsa slab with a piece of reflective tape on it, chrome tape
Yeah.
for heating to reflect the heat back towards the pipe. And I also opened up the hole in the bottom of the cowl, twice as big as what it was, to get more of the heat out of there.
oh, that's good.
I'll show you.
Made all the right moves.
Awesome, man.
We'll go out tomorrow and give it a try. If I can't bring this is the one I'd like to fly, but if it doesn't come around, I'll be flying my Tucker because I know that it will work. It works fine. Now, let's see here. What camera am I on? This one here. Yep. You look right there. You can see how big the hole is now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was 3 holes. They
Yeah.
just open that up to relieve the
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should have better cooling now.
yeah. The airplane flies okay. The motor I just gotta get run in. And as soon as I get the engine to run, then I can get comfortable with the airplane. Doesn't have any bad habits, doesn't drop wings, it flies level. Turns good. It basically flies like the rest of my airplane. It's the same airplane.
Well, that's a good thing since you're used to it. Yeah, it's definitely like if you have a plane that's different from what you used to fly before, yeah, there's definitely some time to make the transition from one to the next.
Well, they look different, but
Essentially all the same.
yeah, they're the same numbers, same wing. Same
wing-
weight.
Mhm.
And this is lighter than the Tucker. This is 60 ounces. The Tucker is 62 ounces. Got more power and less weight, so that's the one I want to fly. So I hope I can get it straightened out.
That's cool.
Hey, you
You'll
guys,
be-
I want to
you'll-
share with you guys. I actually, I've heard of cool plugs or cold glow plugs before, and I've never used one. And John, you might like this. I took my Stalker 81 out today in my old red Strega, and to get it running, I used a medium plug. But when I went to the part of the 4.2 engine run, it just did not sound very smooth. And I put the cold plug, which is a OS Max A5 plug, and in the motor it just started purring. It just runs so much nicer. And so John, if you get around to it, you might want to try a cold plug. I have a new Stalker, has a lot of compression, and the medium plugs it was on the verge of pre-igniting. I could it just sounded like it was wanting to
Right on the edge.
yeah, right on the edge, and put the cold plug in there, and man, it just runs nice. It's still a new motor. I expect it to get better and better.
Hey,
Hey,
Charles, you want to ask if why the cold plug wouldn't start with a cold motor, and then we had to switch out plugs to get it started. Remember that?
Yeah, it might have been a fueling thing. I don't know exactly, but
I meant with lighter fluid.
Yeah,
put some lighter fluid in the Venturi to get it started on the cold
Yeah.
plug.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got dug out the muffler for my 81, you know, the one that had problem with.
Right.
Okay.
Now I'm
Come
gonna, do you think I should call the guy in Ukraine or just send it to him? Or has he got an email account that I can contact him on?
You can, if you go to Control Line Parts, I know he
Yeah.
sells K77s, but if you communicate to him, he seems to be in like partnership with the guy in Ukraine that actually makes both the Stalker, I think, and the K77.
All right, because I want to. They need it because they can make a new body easily. That's just aluminum, but it's the end pieces. You know, they're different from one year to maybe 3 years later. They change the. So you got to have the right end pieces to hook up to the engine. So
right, and you found those pieces, right? You found those pieces, right?
Yeah, except I couldn't find the piece that bored its way out of the muffler body, but I found the rest of it.
Yeah, well, I would just go to the Control Line Parts website and just communicate with, I think his name is Ruslan.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah, that's who I communicated with him when you and I was working out this situation. That's who I was in communication with.
Okay.
But I do have the guy's address in the Ukraine, you know, but I don't know what kind of money or if he want money or not. I have no idea.
I think I basically think it shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't cost me anything. But you know, we'll see what happens because I got to have the muffler.
Yep.
Right.
I got two more kids trying to use the internet. They're both having sleepovers tonight, and all four of them are trying to use their Chromebooks and their phones and everything else. And I'm fading in and out over here. I'm gonna have to. I'm just like, geez, you know, it's Friday night. Dad needs the internet.
What?
Watch a movie or play a video game or something.
Yeah.
So if I'm in and out, it's why. If I'm in and out, it's because I got Munchkins stealing all the bandwidth tonight.
Saudi Arabia still buys children, so.
I'm gonna say goodnight, guys. So you guys have a good one.
Hey, thanks, Marky. Thanks for
Good night.
The Zoom Pro for us. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, Marky.
Well, I got to do a little bit of CAD work for Brent Williams. He used to be on here, and he's oftentimes on the feed. Anyway, heck of a nice guy. He's the guy that manufactures and sells the adventure style handles now. He told me he's completely out of handles. He's got to get new stuff made, and he says with the price of balsa wood, he's thinking about that. But anyway, he wanted to use the airfoil from the Thunder Gazer or the what's his name? Up in Canada, little short guy. Who?
Chris Cox.
Yeah, Chris Cox. I believe Chris Cox is using the Thunder Gazer airfoil, but he didn't have he only had a DWG file, and he can't open a DWG file. He can only open a DXF file. And so what I did is he sent it to me, and it was kind of fun. I opened it up, and then I saved it as a DXF file for him. And I then printed everything into a PDF file so he can print it on his computer or off his computer and things like that. And that's the file that he's got a friend that's got a laser cutter, and he'll use that DXF file to cut ribs for him. So it was fun, you know. If I had more time, I would have laid out the wing for him and given him a file with all the ribs. So, because all he had was the root and the tip, but I didn't have enough time right now to do that. But if he needs it, I'll do it for him. You know, he's done a lot of things for me.
Very cool. Yeah, Brent Williams, I've purchased about 3 handles off of him. And those Ted Fancher handles, that's my favorite handle.
Mine too.
I've never used the Casman auto handle or Jim Smith's handle. So in fairness, I can't say anything negative about those, but I really like the Ted Fancher.
How's that one looking like?
It looks like the original Ted Fancher handle.
I have no clue how they look like.
Oh, it's in my garage. I don't want to go downstairs.
I might have one. I'll go look.
Okay. Anyways, let me catch up on the chat box. Dan Winship, he says, for insulation in the tank, use that heat-resistant felt the plumbers use behind pipes when soldering. You can set that felt on your end and a propane torch over it.
What was that about? Use plumber what, Charles?
He said, let me repeat this. It says use the heat-resistant felt that plumbers use behind pipes when soldering. You can use that felt on your hand and run a propane over it.
Yeah, that's just a heat resistant cloth when we have electrical lines that are real close to the water pipe. You put that over the electrical lines, and when you go and solder the pipe, it won't catch electrical lines on fire.
Okay.
It's like a fire retardant cloth.
Do you have some?
No, I don't. But you can go to like any plumbing wholesale company and pick some up. Or if you have friends that live in your area that's a plumber, they might have some. The repair guys might have some on their trucks.
Okay. Like I thought you was my friend, and I thought you was a plumber.
Hey, well, I'll let the cat out of the bag. I'm retired. I don't deal with that stuff anymore. So. I just know where to get it.
Okay.
And what it's used for.
Very, very cool. All right.
I got a little bit of show and tell. It's aviation related. I think you guys know I've been putting in a runway here. If you don't mind, I'll give you about a 3 or 4 photo. If I can figure out how to do this on this thing now.
Well, there's down below. I'm not sure what view you were in, but you still should have that screen share. It's you see it, Mark?
Yeah, I believe so. I see that. I'm just trying to figure out how to get to the right window.
All right. I've never screen shared. Hey, Mel, thanks for coming in. I forgot to acknowledge you.
Let's see.
Oh, hello, guys. Yeah, I've been watching the painting going on the last few days, and it's been really entertaining, and I've learned a lot. So it's kind of like going to church. It's good for you. Come in here and listen to you guys, you know?
Yes.
So,
Sparky's been doing a lot of painting. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was there, but I've never painted anything, you know, just so that's pretty impressive to me, watching him paint. And this channel is a lot of good information you guys are sharing. I like that.
Cool. Wow, look at this, Mark. That is, this is your runway on your property?
Oh, yeah. This is a 2,200 feet puzzle.
Yes.
20 feet wide. This is a plastic, as you can see, a grid. And you start laying out the grid, and you use a steamroller and roller, and you roll it in, and believe it or not, this is that 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
The grass is completely taken over, and you can run a 25-ton truck over it, and you won't get a rut.
Oh, wow. So that grass is on top of that stuff, right?
Grows right through it. You press it down into the turf, and the grass just takes over. And it's a pretty amazing thing for a grass field, a grass runway. You'll never have a.
Isn't that a little close to the? Isn't that a little close to the certain death power lines and the fence for a runway?
For some people. Yeah, it's not for the faint at heart. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, those are certain death power lines there, man.
Yeah. But believe it or not, they are close. There's no doubt. There's about 35 to 40 foot clearance from this.
Oh, okay, plenty.
Still, it's there. We won't be having a lot of visitors, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I can stop share. So the screen sharing works pretty good. It's about the same. You got to kind of hunt around to find the right window.
Hey, Mark,
Our first share. That's pretty cool.
how do you cultivate the grass without disturbing the stuff that you lay down?
I'm sorry, you broke up just a second.
How do you mow the grass without the blades hitting the black stuff that you lay down on the ground?
It's so intertwined. We mowed it today with one of our reel mowers we use on the polo fields that cuts at a 1/2 inch. And yeah, it's pressed in and it's integrated enough that certainly if something is sticking up, it's going to get mowed. But so far it's flat. We rolled it in with an 8-ton steamroller, so I don't think it's coming anywhere.
Hey, look who's back. Howard's back. What's up, Howard?
Well, I'm getting ready to go to the Naturals.
The Naturals, yeah. We were wondering where you've been the last couple of weeks. We thought maybe you got overcome with paint fumes in the shop out
I'm just about
or
to
something.
blow on some death paint tonight.
Oh, awesome.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for coming in, Bob.
Oh, Bob Hunt too. What's up, Bob?
Oh, hi, Bob.
Yeah.
I don't see
You're
Bob.
muted, Bob.
I'm going to mute you, Denny. You're trading a little bit
Which devices?
Okay.
Yeah, there, Bob.
Yeah, keep saying your mic's muted, Bob.
Hi, John.
Uh-oh.
Let me see if I can unmute your mic, Bob.
I got that one little patch of hair there wants to go the wrong way. Oh, well, I've lived with it this long. I brought in that handle if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is the fancier handle. This is one I did for the 2-bits bike. Notice it's colored the same way, same colors.
Very nice.
But that's the, I'll hold it this way. That's the fixed part. These parts here, and the adjustment is those little holes there.
Right.
For the, for the how sensitive you want it. So that's the one, and I like it. It's very light. I did also bring up one that I used to make. I'll probably start making them again if for some reason the fancher handles quit coming around. This started out as where I had a variable, cable type, and I may bring it back because I like Trayan's Kevlar cable thing. But this is a fixed point, or what they call hard point.
Hard point, yeah.
And I paint all my handles up to match a particular airplane. This was for my oh, come on. Anyway, this is for a particular classic airplane that was painted like an old primary trainer. You see, it's got the yellow, the two shades of blue, and the red and white stripes. And I particularly like this because it fits my hand very well, and it's very light also, but a little bit heavier than the fancher handle, but not very much.
Yeah, I have one of those handles as well. I like it.
Yeah, I bought these bars from Eric Rule. He had a bunch of them made up, and they're made up for the adjustable. And so I've got a bunch of these that are still adjustable because I made probably about 20 of them. So I'd have one for every airplane.
Yeah.
And then finally, just so you can see, here's that muffler. See where that came through there?
Yeah. Now, how does it fit into that crankcase? That muffler was different than all my Stocker mufflers.
There's that.
So is it a friction fit? I mean, how does it stay attached to the crankcase?
There was on the stub coming out of the engine, there were two grooves that had two O-rings and slid on there. And then I had here on the back, you got a hole there. I set up one. I had a little spring-loaded stud. Wooden stud. I could pull back, take it out, put it back in, put it in, and it pushed it right up and kept it up tight.
Okay. All right. I was always curious how the person keep that thing on there. And regarding your Ted Fancher handle, the one you showed, did you cover up the screws? Yeah. Really smooth.
No, I covered up on this side, but like you're supposed to. Here's the other side.
So you can still adjust the legs then, right? You want to?
Yeah, I can adjust them quite easily.
Okay, I just didn't know. Yeah, I really like that handle because you can adjust the legs, and sometimes you need. At least I needed when I was flying Sparky's Plant the Gnats. I needed to lengthen those legs just a little bit so that when I came out of a corner, I didn't have a rise, and that worked excellent.
Yeah, a little overhang. Bobby Hunt had a handle he used for quite a while. I had quite a bit of overhang. It was actually a feature of that handle. He'll probably talk about it though.
Who was that?
I said Bob Hunt had a nice handle. They had quite a bit of overhang. In fact, that was a feature of it. It was all the overhang. And I left it up to Bobby to talk about it anymore. There was a reason I know that he did it that way. So, but he can explain it better than I can.
All righty. Are you done, John?
Yep.
All right. Well, Mike wants to say something. Go ahead, Mike. I see your hand raised.
Well, I got Sam's Nats plane here.
Right.
In color.
I saw one of the posts this afternoon. So good. How do you make him big here? Let's see.
So we got the color on it yesterday.
Oh, nice.
2 coats of SIG dope.
Very nice. Hey, Mark, by the way, just change your view. If you want Mike to get big, just change the view. That's all it is.
So this is, for those of you who have been following along, it's the Tom Dixon Vector 40 profile. Before I put color on it yesterday, it was 26 ounces, with the wing and the fuse covered in silk span, 2 coats of clear dope. after shooting the color, it's 27.8 ounces now. So I picked up 1.8 ounces with the dope. There's 2 coats of blue on there, and then it's just going to get 1 coat of clear, and we'll be ready to put the flaps and the elevators on and put it together.
You'll
It'll be
gas off some of
done
that.
in time. Say again, John?
Say you'll gas off some of that weight from the dope.
Yeah, that's what Joe Gilbert was telling me. I was on the phone with him today. He said, "Yeah, I may let it go till Monday or Tuesday and just shoot clear we go, and then it'll still have enough time before he needs it for junior senior open." The other thing today, I got the Brian Gardner LA 46 on the test stand, and I ran 3 tanks of fuel through the new Gardner LA 46. Heated it up with a gun for the first one and primed it, and it started on the second flip and just purred like a kitten, man. So the plan is to run, at least a half a gallon, maybe a gallon through it before we leave for Muncie. I'll go out there every day and run 2 or 3 tanks through it. It broke in, but we're gonna make it. We were worried that we weren't gonna get this thing done in time, but it's close enough now that I know it won't be a problem. So, and I think it should come in right around 45, 46 ounces, just based on where it's at now. So it should be a good flying point for him.
Should be.
Very good.
All right, so I finally got that vinyl cutting machine up and running, and I started to cut some stencils and stuff like that.
Ooh, all right.
I keep falling behind and more, and just it doesn't look very good. But anyways, I could probably share this with you guys if you want to see that. This is the stencil for my for the horizontal. I'm not sure how I can make this big or whatever, but if you
you're
see,
big. You're actually big.
so if you see, if you look carefully at it, you can see different patterns in here, and that's because of the plan is to, let's say I want to shoot a color, right? So I'm gonna just unmask that color, for example. Just take the vinyl off like this.
Okay.
And then I just gonna unmask all of them. So I don't know what, let's say this one here, and whatever is gonna be, I can just use a toothpick to grab the corner and just peel them off one at a time, and I'm gonna have the pattern of everything for that one color. So with an airbrush I can just shoot it, and then I'm gonna peel off more stuff from here, from the puzzle. It's like a puzzle, right?
Right.
Like every piece of the color, every scheme or something like that, it's a piece of the puzzle. Like you do building a puzzle, right?
Right.
And by peeling it off, you expose a new area to paint. And I'm not worried about overspraying over the previous color at all, because when you put the carbon make the part, everything is going to be on the opposite side. So if you're thinking you have to think in a mirror with this, right? If it makes sense.
And the paint will release from the mold due to it being polished, or do you have to put something?
That and I also have some release agent on the mold as of right now.
Gotcha.
It's a semi-permanent, and this is what I've done. I just did this with a little test. You see the paint. So what I did, I just painted in a corner like here, where the aluminum is exposed, and I put a tape on top of it. And I want to say, like, as sticky as the tape is, probably is just as sticky
as the paint. Yeah.
With this, and the paint didn't leave any. I mean, the tape doesn't leave any traces of residue or any of the stuff in there, and it's just really nice.
And then then to get it to adhere to the carbon, do you have a time limit? I mean, does it have to be wet? The paint have to be wet?
I don't think it really matters a whole lot.
Yeah.
But the paint has like a 2 days in which it dries up, right?
Gotcha.
So if I paint them day one, right, in a day two, I can still mold everything
Gotcha.
without worrying about it being fully dried or something like that. So I have good bond to it.
That's right.
And
yeah, I think you told me that about. That's why you have the special paint that takes that long to dry. Correct?
yeah. And it's not a time. Actually, the paint dries relatively quickly to the touch and to the point where it's fingerprint free, right? But the problem is that I'm not sure where is it. I have it here.
You guys
Because
hear
I
me now?
did-
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sound good, Bob. I got you.
because I did another test here, and the paint is semi-dry right now. I mean, it's not fully dry because I just put it maybe a couple of hours ago, right? And I tried to, instead of doing this here, right? I tried to put the tape like on, like through the middle of it, right? But when I peel it off, guess what? The whole paint came off with the tape, right? So the thing is that I have to spray it fast enough to the point it doesn't dry, so I can peel off the tape quick enough, right? And move to the next color relatively quickly. And once I do that, I just have to keep moving.
Gotcha.
Because everything, all the stencil has to be off the mold before I finish everything. Or plan B would be to make something like a colors touching other colors, but they're inside each other, right? It's just fully enclosed, right? So you might have like a red stripe with a border around it all the way around, right? Kind of like that. Because what that does, you can shoot the paint, whatever color you want to shoot, and you have plenty of time with that because you peel the border off and there's nothing touching the paint, right? You can wait all you want after that, right? But if you have multiple colors that are kind of touching each other and you have several of them, then it becomes more complicated. And I'm a glutton for punishment because I picked up something that's going to look nice, I think, but but ultimately, I think it's gonna I have 5 colors, and no, I have no more than that. I forgot to add the canopy and the gold. So I have like 7 colors that I need to shoot in rapid succession, basically. So that's kind of the thing to it.
Right. Let me interrupt you for a second, Ryan. There's a couple things. One, Philip Bailey, he's asking, how do I get in tonight? Phil, just go to stunthangar.com, the forum, and at the bench, at the bench, there'll be a link I posted earlier. Click on the link, and that should bring you in. You might need to check off to allow your mic and your camera so you can get in. And if you don't have Zoom, you might have to just momentarily wait to download the Zoom client to your computer. And also Rick Wallace, he donated $25. So thank you very much, Rick Wallace. Appreciate that tremendously. And after you finish, Tryon, Howard, he wants to say something. So go ahead, Tryon.
Yeah, so the bad part of it is that I have to move very fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
The good part of it is that I can do the whole paint, 7 colors of all, in a matter of 1 hour or so, which is I know. If any of you done a paint job in 1 hour that looks professional and good, yeah,
That's
all power to you, man.
that's pretty remarkable. Just in an hour, 5 different colors. Wow.
7.
What are
7.
you using for paint mask material? That's what I put my hand up.
It's with a vinyl cut. I cut with a vinyl machine.
What material are you using?
It's a stencil material, but I think I need something that's stronger than that because it's not sticking hard enough to the mold surface.
Oh, but it's pulling up the paint. Huh.
Yeah, the paint is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just got a vinyl cutter myself, and so far I've only made trip strips on it.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
the local guys are using a MacTac product for paint masks. But I don't know how that would work for your situation.
Oh yeah, I see. I can see that, Howard. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, John Miller there.
Let me see.
He stepped. He stepped away from his computer. He's not sitting in front of it at the moment.
Oh, okay. I'll wait for him to get back because I have an answer to his question he had before. I'll wait for him to get back. Boy, we're all being very quiet.
I got my hand raised.
Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah, he does. I just noticed.
Sorry.
How do you do that? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, it's.
At the
I
very
had to
bottom.
figure out how to get that page back open. But
I'll just do
who's
this.
all going to the Nats?
Who's not going?
Who's all going? I know Dennis is going. You're going, Bob.
Yeah.
And Mike
Maybe.
Howard's going to be there.
Maybe.
Anybody else?
I might make it up for a day or two just for a visit, meet and greet. But that's about it.
Mike Lonke's going.
Okay, that's Gary. Do you know what day you're going to come up, Gary?
No, I don't think I'll get to make it.
Oh, who said they might be there for a meet and greet?
That was Mark.
Mark.
Oh, Mark. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see the whole screen at one time.
Oh,
I got
change your view. There's a speaker view and gallery view. So just switch back and forth to see which one you like.
To gallery.
Okay.
Upper right-hand corner.
You can change the view.
Mike already knows, but I canceled my rooms and I rented a travel trailer. It's going to be dropped off at the Nats, and we're going to stay there right like we always do, so I can have the eat out again.
Oh, super.
And wondering what night is going to try to work for everybody. I was thinking either Tuesday or Wednesday night. I usually did it on Wednesdays, but sometimes it was really busy. People had to trim airplanes and they were real busy. I didn't know if Tuesday, if everyone thinks Tuesday would work better. Any thoughts on it?
Throw the party, they will come.
Yeah, build it. They will come.
Are you staying over by Pylon? Is that where you are?
I'm either going to stay there. That's where we usually always stayed. But there is a campground back behind RC Combat and stuff like that. And I'm wondering about, it has grass actually. You could go behind with grass and a little easier on your feet. And, I don't know. We're going to see when we get there how busy it is. And, I don't know if RC Pylon is going to be crowded or if the other one.
Steve,
it always is.
The nice thing about the one over by RC Combat is that grass back there. We could actually fly like half A stuff back there and little electric RC foamies and stuff like that, and you're kind of out of the way.
You think there'd be enough area there to fly some rubber power that everybody wants to fly?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe we can do that too then.
Absolutely. That one's just a little less dusty than the pylon parking. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
because the parking lot's not as big. There's not as much gravel, and you don't have people driving through there all the time. Where in the RC pylon, everybody's driving through to get to their campers and get the pylon, so it's always really, really dusty. And that campground at RC Combat, the only gravel is the part that the campers are on. The road is actually in front of the gravel road, so nobody's driving on gravel. That's my only thought is, you know, whenever you go over to RC Pylon, and you drive out of there, you got 2 inches of gravel dust on your car. You know, it's everywhere.
Do they have showers? Do they have showers over there near the combat site?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where
No.
That's
No,
where
they
the
don't have showers there.
Yeah.
But I can tell everybody the secret about that is we never use the showers at the one there at Pylon. We always go up to the headquarters and use that one, which a lot of people don't know about if you're going to stay there. And I mean, they're really nice showers in the museum, in the back of the museum.
Oh, I know those.
Yeah, them are nice showers there. So we just drive down every night, and there's 2 for the guys, and I think there's 2 for the women. So, you know, sometimes you got to wait a little bit, but they're so much nicer. No bugs flying around the lights and all that kind of stuff. But
Bob, John's back. John,
Okay, John,
Bob has a
John, you ready? You ready, John?
for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. What's the theory? Tell them what the theory is about your overhang.
I don't know. I stole it from the Adamisons. I just traced out their handle and made my own.
Ah, okay. I was told, now this is probably partly myth, but that it gave you, that it felt like it gave more power as you made your turn because of the length of the overhang.
I don't think so. I don't know. I just, you know, I learned how to fly on it and I flew on it for years. And then I discovered, you know, less overhang and, you know, did a Homer Simpson and, you know, put this away.
Yeah. What actually happens, I think, more so with the long arm handle is that it becomes a self-neutralizing force. The long arms, the airplane pulls your hand back into a certain position. You can't just sit there and hold it, you know. And I think the short overhang handles feel like they, you know, there's less feedback that way, but it also, you also feel like you have more power as far as overcoming the airplane.
And then I discovered, you know, less overhang and, you know, did a Homer Simpson. You know.
Is that you, Phil?
Somebody's got YouTube open.
No, I meant the loop. But hi, by the way, thanks for coming in, Phil. I'm glad you made it in. It's a little different. The Zoom Pro, I'm still getting used to it. And you guys,
it's a little different, but we'll get it.
And you guys have to give me grace because sometimes I can't see that you want to speak or that you want to be allowed in. So with me,
We'll get it.
I will eventually figure it out.
hey, Charles, I was gonna say I watch it on YouTube and it doesn't come through clear on YouTube. I don't know if it will when it's final recording.
Because I can't get it here.
Okay.
But I gave you a like on it. I don't know if you can see that. And but it was breaking up real bad when I was trying to watch it.
Was it during the part where Mike was talking or other people?
Yes, yep. When Mike was talking about the paint job and stuff.
Yeah, he has a sleepover at his house and he's competing with kids using the bandwidth.
Oh, okay. I just thought I'd let you know. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
All right. This is for Bob or anybody else. You notice I have my hand raised right now? Bob, if you scroll down to the bottom of the Zoom window, you'll get participants, chat, share screen, record, and reactions. You click on reactions and you'll see a little bar. It says raise hand, and that'll turn around. You raise your hand and then you click on it again and it'll lower it.
Okay, I don't know how to get to that thing.
It's at the bottom of your Zoom chat window. I mean, not in your your specific window, but all at the bottom of that of the screen. There's, if you go to the left-hand side, you'll see mute your microphone icon, and you should see a camera icon in the lower left, and right down in the middle.
I can't get down to that for some reason. I have the gallery thing, and I don't know how to change the view.
Yeah, upper right corner, Bob, and let me take over, Peter.
Sure.
The upper right corner, you can change your view, Bob, from speaker view to gallery, and then when you look down at the bottom. And I believe it's not reactions, it's actually participants that you click, and then you'd see the people in here, and then you can, below that, you'll see raise hand. And
well, where at the top could I change that from the gallery view? I have participants.
No, upper right corner is to change the view. The extreme upper right corner, you can change your view there.
Charles, I think the confusion is whether they have Apple products or PC.
Right. Oh, that's right. You're on Marion's iPad. I mean,
yeah, Marianne's iPad. I'll just do this.
As long as I'm in that, if I'm in that view, I'll see it. That's the problem. If I switch to the speaker view, I don't see you individually unless you're in my front. So just have grace, give me grace and time, because it's a little different. Even like I have no idea how many likes we have. I don't have the YouTube studio like I usually use to see what's going on. So it's I got to figure out how to implement the YouTube studio, because that's how I was keeping track of how many views we have concurrently, how many likes, how many memberships, how many, and I actually have another screen up with our YouTube that I have a YouTube that I've muted so I can see the chat on YouTube. And that's not most ideal for me, actually. But with time, we'll figure it out. John, did you have a question, John?
Yeah. Did Gerald Wimmer, did he make any motion that he's going to be on tonight? Because that'll be the test coming from New Zealand.
Yeah, Phil and Len.
I haven't been in communication with Gerald, but that is a great idea. I'm hoping that he is watching. And Gerald, if you're watching, Gerald, just come in if you can, just briefly, so we can see how it works. I know Lynn liked it in Canada. He wasn't getting kicked out nearly as much as he was, or actually not at all on our test. Right now, we only have 14 participants. I hope we can stretch this thing out and see what we can really handle.
Charles, do you see Howard's hand up?
No. Oh yeah, now I see it. Yes. Go ahead, Howard. Thanks. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I did an analysis of the overhang, I think, and posted it on Stunthangar a while back, and the results were kind of surprising. I forgot what they are, but I remember them being kind of interesting. So,
interesting in a positive way, or
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
So if you can find that, I can't look for it now.
All right. Well, it helped me because when I was flying, just a second, Bob, I see your hand. When I was flying Sparky's plane, I couldn't come back to neutral quick enough when I came out of a hard corner, and the plane would rise out of a hard corner. And Sparky, actually, I didn't even know, but Sparky said to me, Charles, you need to lengthen the legs on your handle. I said, what?
Yep.
So you need to lengthen the legs on your handle, and then you'll be able to come back quick enough.
Open the handle a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, not open it, actually lengthen the arms like that.
I tried flying on this a couple of years back. I haven't flown on it. I haven't flown on it since the 70s, and I figured it would be pretty fun to try it. And I just got it out of a drawer where it's been sitting since then. So that kind of question, you know.
But you haven't flown with it yet, right?
No, I flew with it a couple of years ago in an airplane, and I put it back in the drawer.
That tells us something.
Yeah. But it did okay for me back in the 70s. That really worked well with the setups I had back then. I don't know why, but it did.
Well, I flew with an old
The
Easy
setups
Just
were a lot
like
more
most of
sensitive
it.
back then.
The old Easy Just, was, you got used to it. You could fly the
Yeah.
daylights out of it.
Yeah.
No, the setups were a lot more sensitive back then, and that thing would deaden it some.
Yeah, were you the same age back then, Bob, as you are now?
No,
I was younger, but I didn't look any different.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hey, Phil, how did your contest go? I wasn't on Monday. I was just
that was
curious.
great. We had about 24 flyers total, 24, 25, something like that. And Will Davis killed him with that PT9 electric PT19. He won Nostalgia, and he won Warbird. I would not have thought of PT9. I never thought of a PT19 as a Warbird, but it was a trainer for the Warbirds. So I guess it's legal, but just had never struck me as being the one for that. Then the old time winner was Larry Drawn, who flew very well. I mean, I didn't get to really watch him. I was on the other end of the field, but he flew very well from what I understand in old time. And Tom Looper won profile with a daggum trainer that I wouldn't have give you 50 cents for his chances of winning anything. I mean, the plane just is very, very quick, very herky jerky, but never count Loop out. The man can fly a brick. You put him you put him out there flying, and he's rough and he's everywhere, and you think, well, it's not going to be Tommy's day. As soon as the judges walk out there and put pen to clipboard, Tommy goes into contest mode, and that's it. He's just rock solid. He put up beautiful flights. I'll tell you how good he flew. He was 150 points. Now they added all the scores. The two judges, their scores were added, and then the second flight, the two scores were added. But when all was said and done, he was 150 something points ahead of second place. And I would have bet you 10 points would have covered the difference, and it was 150 points. But I was probably judging him a little tight, but I was judging everybody a little tight. And the other judge was much more taken with his flying than I was. So I don't feel like it was a case of me ballooning anybody's score or anybody else ballooning scores. He was just flying that much more precise than anybody else. But in practice and all leading up to it, I never would have thought it. But like I say, you put Loop in front of the judges, and he just all of a sudden he's in contest mode. Bang! It's another switch flips, and he just goes for it. It was fun. It was an interesting contest, and I think everybody had a good time. Next year they said it's going to be a 2-day event, and we will have the AMA events on Sunday. And all in all, Tom I thought he put on a really good contest. As Tom Weedman put that one on pretty much by himself. And he put on a heck of a contest. It was a lot of fun. You need to come next year.
Yeah.
But get in touch with me on where to stay, because you do not want to stay there's a Super 8 near the field. You don't want to stay there.
It's in Roanoke Rapids, right?
Do what?
It was in Roanoke, right?
Roanoke Rapids, yes.
I got buddies up there, I think, near the airport.
You'd be surprised how much fun we had. Everybody was laughing all day long, and not just at each other. It was just fun. It was just fun. We had a blast.
Good stuff.
I hadn't had that much fun in the contest in a long time, and I didn't get to fly. I judged all day. When the day was over, I wanted to know, all right, who won? I don't know who won. Well, you judged, you ought to know. No, I really don't. I couldn't tell.
That's the way it should be.
I usually when I judge a contest, I pretty much can tell, like, yeah, this guy won it, this got second, this got third, this got fourth, and so on and so forth.
He
right?
usually
Because
can
it's
too,
just-
Tryon, but this one was
Yeah.
tight.
Oh,
This
if
one
it's
was
too
tight.
tight, yeah, then that's a different story.
Check out Peter's
It was-
back.
I was stunned when Tom was so far ahead. Like I say, I would have bet on 10 points between first and second, and it was 150. So all I can tell you I thought it was tighter. I thought it was much tighter than that. And everybody else was pretty tight. Will Davis won the appearance award with the PT-17, and he said he was going to send it's a piece of paper that you can frame. He said he was going to send it to Dave Hemstraw, who built the airplane back in the 70s. And I'll tell you this, that's the plane Dave flew in the 70s. And I still say that was the best flying plane I ever saw Dave fly. He flew that one better than any of the later stuff. And yes, Howard, that's when you were flying in a clown suit and impressing the hell out of everybody. Heck out of everybody.
You guys, let me interrupt. I think Tryon had a great question earlier. I think the only person who responded was one person. He asked, what was your problem in the pattern as far as your where you have deficits? And my biggest deficit is when I do outside rounds, I have a flat spot on the very top of my outside rounds. I have to really be conscientious when I get ready for an official flight to remind myself to make sure the top of the outside is round. And if anybody else is willing to admit, some people might want to just keep it a secret because this is a live stream, but that's my problem. And if anybody wants to volunteer their certain wrinkles they got to work out, go ahead, John.
Well, I have the wrinkle. I have a tendency to pull out too high on the reverse swing over. And that sets the whole thing up as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And when you know you're too high and you want it to be a little bit lower, I have a trouble. I keep thinking about it into the next maneuvers, and then I tend to wind up with some of them a little too high. But Bob, the other one that bothered me, Bob talked to me about it once on the phone, and that was the horizontal eights. And I think Bob had trouble with it as a youth too. And if he wants to, I'll let him explain what he explained to me about horizontal eights and how to cure them. And then the other is that bottom corner on the darn hourglass. I want to come out. I want to pull it up a little too fast, and I either come out high or I bobble the bottom. So that's my problems.
Yeah, amongst others.
Well, that thing about the horizontal eighth, ironically, I was talking to Charles the other day about that. If you don't mind me talking about that.
Go ahead. Excellent.
He was talking about vertical eights having trouble making the top loop of the vertical eight too big. And some people have the same problem doing one loop or another of the horizontal eight too big or connecting them incorrectly. And I think what you're referencing, John, is the discussion I had with Gene Schaefer when I was quite young. I was talking to him about horizontal eights, and he did beautiful ones. And he said, and he pulled 2 quarters out of his pocket, and he set them down on a table. And he said, "Now look where those 2 quarters meet." He says they meet at one point. And he says you want the airplane is to be dead vertical in a horizontal eight only for a pinpoint in time. It just hits that, it goes the other way. Most people either crisscross, I'm stating the obvious. Most people either crisscross the intersection or they stay in the intersection way too long. And the object is to just, when the airplane hits that horizontal, hits the vertical in the middle of the horizontal eight, it's got to be going the other direction instantly. And you connect them at one point. And that's difficult. It's easier to say than to do. But that's the key to it. And that helped my horizontal eights a lot back then.
So how do you do the transition? How do you actually do the transition? What's your hand doing?
I kind of reverse the control right at that point, you know. I mean, I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to tell you in words how I do it. I just try to make sure the airplane, when it gets vertical, is going the other direction at that exact point in time. Now, do I always hit that? No, none of us do, but that's the ideal, I think.
So kind of go from the up to the down very fast, kind of like boom. As soon as you're vertical, boom.
Well, it depends on the airplane, it depends on your handle, depends on your feeling. Yeah, I try to accentuate that with a little bit of a kick right at that point. Try to make it look like it's transitioning right on that point when the airplane gets that vertical.
Because you still,
Isn't the AMA 8 just kind of the reverse of a lazy 8? So if you can turn around and you can nail a lazy 8, tighten it up, and just do it backwards to make it an AMA 8, you should be good. No,
it's a lot different than that.
Not even
lazy 8 is much easier.
No. I think what I believe is the lazy 8 is just by perception easier. You're doing the same rounds no matter which direction you started. Actually,
no, not even Peter.
I don't know how you do your lazy 8s. I mean, I don't do lazy 8s where it looks like the infinity symbol. I'm talking about lazy 8s where the loops around.
Well, the defining word there is lazy 8. A lazy 8 is one that has a crisscross intersection. That's a lazy 8. A AMA 8 has got a defined intersection, like we just talked about. So to me, that's the differential. The lazy 8 is essentially one that has a crisscross intersection.
No, and the only reason I mention it is I used to be terrified of doing the AMA 8 until I got stuck in my head that if I do a lazy 8, but I don't stretch it out horizontally like you would normally do, but you tighten it up so it's 2 loops side by side. And then of course, when you enter AMA 8, you're going to the outside instead of doing it inside at the start. I just found it, well, once I realized that, I found the transition to doing the AMA 8 a lot easier.
Well, I think what happened was when old time stunt became popular after the fact of the actual old time stunt, when it was, back in the day, when old time stunt became popular, they started looking at these 8s and instead of doing the classic lazy 8 with a intersection that laid over, they actually started doing what you're referring to, is doing just the opposite of an AMA 8, but having the diving portion in the center of the maneuver and have the intersection look the same going down as it did going up in the AMA 8.
Like I said, I wouldn't suggest that would work for everyone. It seemed to work for me because once I learned that if I tighten up that lazy 8 to where it looks like there's 2 loops side by side, because my problem was when you're going into the first loop, you're actually turning down, you're actually doing an outside loop, and then you're doing an inside loop on the right-hand side. And I was always afraid of turning down towards the ground. So it helped me when I started getting that lazy 8.
Peter?
Yeah.
The Nationals is like a week away. Please don't confuse me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So what I found out that a lot of people do in a horizontal 8, the first loop is the easiest because you just keep going round and round, right? But when they go vertical, they delay. If you delay the transition for even an instant, then you're already climbing up a lot.
Yep.
I mean, it's just even 5 to 7 feet higher than down the outside loop. It becomes huge, bigger, right? And then the inside loop again.
Hey, Sparky, what's up?
As a and the inside loop after that becomes bigger as well. And,
that's
and it just
true.
looks.
That's true. If you miss that intersection point, you have the airplane climbing through the intersection vertically, you are going to go bigger unless you have a noticeable kick. You try to once you the geometry of the maneuver is destroyed. It's destroyed. There's no way to get it back again to look decent again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But the thing to it is just this kind of it's the tricky part that the plane has the lift vector towards the inside on the inside loop, right? So you have to stop that force that goes from that direction going to the opposite direction.
Yep.
And stop the motion so you can accelerate in the other direction. So you describe a loop, right?
And what happens?
But it takes time to do that, and
Well,
it's impossible to achieve that technically.
Not only does it take time to do that, you have something fighting against you doing it properly, and that's the flaps. You know, the flaps are lifting the airplane, you know, have so much effect on the wing that when you try to reverse it, you really can't. You almost have to do it a little ahead of time in order to hit it. It's a
exactly.
Yep. And if you reduce the amount of flap throw, I found, and increase the amount of elevator, if your airplane will tolerate it, if it won't stall, that helps to reduce the flap movement, and it helps you to do that maneuver a little cleaner. In my experience.
I was actually going to try that out, to take some flaps out and add some elevator on my plane.
Yeah. Now, if you ever tried to do that with an elevator only airplane, it's a lot easier to hit a clean intersection.
Yep.
But still, there is some time to transition from one motion to the other.
Yeah, but you only have the elevator thing to worry about. You don't have the flap component in there.
Why don't they move together?
You get that hump. Get that hump in there.
Gives you a nose pitch, either up or down, and so your elevator has to fight that. So if you were to do a slow motion, you'd see the airplane. Here you give it. Where am I? Oh, yeah. At this point, you start giving it control, and now your nose pitches this way, and you're fighting that with your elevator, so you have to crank it in. If you could see that wobble if you would do it really slow, and that's one of the problems in one of the maneuvers, that having flaps or too much flap can hurt you.
That's one of the reasons I'm giving up stunt and taking up speed.
I thought you already took up speed with that motorcycle you got.
So what I was trying to say is it's virtually impossible to do a correct horizontal 8 because your plane is never tangent to the path. It's always like in a loop. It's always with the nose. It's a little bit inside, right? So on the inside loop, the nose it's a little bit inside to the path, right? On the outside loop, it's opposite, right? So it's a transition from the nose to go in reference to the path. So the path is here. On the inside loop is like that, right?
No, the other way.
Whatever. You know, if the loop is here, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say the loop is here. You're going like this. Your nose is inside the path, right?
Yeah.
As a path, right? So on the outside loop, right? The nose is like that, right?
Right.
Reference to the path. So it's a transition from here to there, which will never happen at an instant. You'll always have something over there, a delay.
Objects in motion tend to stay in motion in the direction they're going unless
inertia. Exactly.
And what you're referring to there, that little wiggle you see without a flap, is compounded and more than doubled when you got too much flap in there.
Objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless acted upon by the ground.
Yep.
That's basic physics. Got a burst of gravity at the intersection.
Yeah. I've never crashed, but I've proved that the ground sucks.
Yeah. To me, the round 8s are a heck of a lot harder than any of the other maneuvers.
Yeah. Well, that snap in the middle. If it's just right, it's just right. But if it's just a little late or a little too much, you fly a big flat and it shows.
And it's even more prevalent in the vertical 8 because there's an added component there. And not so much for really experienced flyers, like most of us are, but for beginners or intermediates or advanced flyers, they get a little tentative, especially in wind, about reversing the control to go up into the top. They're waiting for some tension, and consequently, they tend to the airplane stays way too long in the horizontal and the intersection, and then it goes off to the outside loop, starts off to the right, and then it gets bigger. in order to come around back to the
Mhm.
proper intersection, the top loop gets bigger.
Mhm.
So the key of that, again, Gene Schaefer said, the instant you get to that intersection, even if you're not dead horizontal, he said reverse it, especially in wind. When you have all the momentum built up, you're not going to gain any more by holding it level.
No.
You have all your momentum you're going to get right here, go right into it, and you'll get more tension in the wind, and you'll do a better intersection.
Yeah.
Wow.
It always looks better if there's a little snap in there. If it snaps, it's
Maybe
better.
a little kick in there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think Phil just said it. It is a snap. All right. And think of it this way. If you're flying a round loop, you're holding a certain amount of up elevator. If you're flying an outside loop, you're flying a little bit of down elevator. Well, when you hit that intersection between the eights, you have to go from this to this to this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be thinking a quarter of a loop or so ahead of time. I have to go snap. I have to come down, go snap. And that's just the way you do it. And to toss what Bob's saying in about the wind, you got to know, gee, I'm going to have to hit this harder.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that I don't get that drifting he's talking about. And then the other way, and that's why you fly bushels of practice flights, so you know how much that snap has to be. But you have to make, it's not a square corner snap, but because it's a partial deflection here to a partial deflection here, but it has to be an instantaneous movement as if it, comparable to a square corner.
Now that you mentioned that, Denny, you remember that movie they did in the '79 Nationals that I was flying in slow motion? It was called Wired for Excitement.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. There's a thing in there where I didn't even realize it until I watched it, where I was doing that little kick with the handle, just like you're saying at the intersection point. I was actually snapping, and you could see it distinctly on the video, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. And just when I watched it, I said, "Oh, I didn't know I did that."
Yeah, because that's actually one area of my pattern I've been working on that I've been really, really happy with this year is that the round eights, horizontal and vertical, I've been getting a better transition than I have in a very, very long time. I've been tickled to death with the way that's been working out.
Parenthetical, like a tangential thought here. Has anybody been looking at the rules proposals that just passed, the initial rules proposals?
Yeah.
No, not lately.
Okay, are you aware of the difference that's coming up in the clover leaf?
No, yeah, they did change.
I heard it's some change.
Yeah, the entry point is from level flight straight up, and then do a round loop. Do a 3/4 round loop, 3/4 round, 3/4 round, 3/4 round, and instead of doing a full round and then 3/4 round loops, it makes it. I think it makes it a lot easier. I think it looks a lot prettier, but that's another maneuver that requires that you to come out of a positive or a negative turn and lock it, almost the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is it still coming over the top?
I always thought of the clover leaf as not a round maneuver, but essentially a square maneuver, because you're locking. Every time you do a 3/4 loop, you're locking onto a horizontal path. Then you do another half loop, you're locking onto a vertical path, doing another half loop, locking onto a horizontal path, inside loop, locking onto a vertical path. And those are like squares to me almost. It's the legs that
you have a cross in the center.
The straight portions make that thing look better, if you do them right.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people are thinking like when I do the clover, it's constantly moving, just rounds. You don't realize that when you have 4 circles side by side, in a center you have a cross.
Yep.
Right.
It's
so you have to
maneuver.
fly those crosses.
Yep.
Exactly what you said. You just turn, stop.
More square maneuver than it is
cross, inverted, stop, climb, inverted, stop again.
That ought to be interesting.
Over to the other side.
So where are they going to enter it now? They're not going to enter from a 45?
Nope. I think it's
level flight.
The FAI has it, and if I'm not mistaken, maybe Howard, who flies FAI now, can correct me on this. I think they're allowed to do it either way. They can enter it the way we've been entering it, or the new way. Is that right, Howard?
I don't know.
Thanks for clarifying that.
That's a good answer. That's a good way
It's,
to-
it's
Yeah,
even more clear.
Howard's a
now.
lot of help most of the time here.
Well, at least he's honest. I mean,
I think that's a great answer. You guys, let me interrupt for a second because there's a couple chats or comments in the chat box. Dan Winship says, I love to see Bob Hunt win the Nats in the next few years.
I would too.
And then Sparky, he says the angle of the dangle is in direct proportion to the heat of the meat.
Yeah.
And the mass of the
To Dan Winship's first comment, like a puff of whatever it is he's smoking,
If you the tried and true method, if you're worried about your intersections in a horizontal eight or any of your intersections, just do a little bit of pre-planning, and when you're just about to hit that intersection at the top of your lungs, yell out "squirrel" and point that way. Nobody will ever see your mistake.
I'll keep it in mind next time.
Well,
I go
judges
flying.
judges watch with a critical eye. Occasionally, they've been known to watch with both eyes, but that's rare.
Very good. Very
Boy, I
good.
tell you.
I got
Don't
a
laugh.
question. I
Yeah,
got a
John
question.
Miller wants to say something. Go ahead, John.
I've always wondered, because I've seen guys when they go into the overhead eights, some turn and face the wind, and some do it with the wind at their back. And are both of those techniques within the pattern?
Well, if you look at the entry into the maneuver, how would you get your back to the entry point and still maintain a perfectly vertical climb?
Well,
Flying over your head.
I don't know how they do it, but I see them facing towards
Yeah, and those
downwind.
people tend to and I know a friend of mine does that, he's Wolgast, and I tried to get him straight to have it, and he couldn't. He does this. He goes around and pulls up like this, and you can't see a 90-degree behind your back when you're over. So I would say you face the maneuver as you pull into it.
I think the reason they do it is because we all tend to fly a little bit in front of us on the overhead. Unless you really practice, you don't get your intersection dead overhead.
The older you get, yeah,
And so you turn around and if you got your back to the judges, it looks like you're further overhead, from the judge's point of view. Maybe that's why they're doing it that way.
Every 10 years you put on your age, your overhead eight begins to look more like a horizontal eight.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. It's hard for some guys to get back up here like this.
I'll tell you what, the more and more, the older I get, if I don't what I call blue sky and practice just without an airplane before I go to the field, my stuff is out in front of me. And that, boy, I got a bunch of guys that will call me on that real quick.
I actually did that at the field recently because I forgot my airplane.
You forgot your airplane.
Did you get judged?
No, it was at a practice thing.
Oh, okay.
I suppose if you lay down flat on your back, while you're flying, and then just practice your overheads. When you're laying flat on your back on the grass.
Peter, have you ever seen Fitzgerald do his overheads?
I did that at the Joe Ball thing a few years ago. Pat Hartness, the owner of that whole thing, asked Derek and I to come up and put on a demonstration at the noontime demonstration, the flying demonstration. And there's 5,000 or 6,000 people there. It was amazing. And we were doing, he was flying on one end of the field, I was flying on the other. We were trying to match our maneuvers, our speed. So when we got to the overhead, I laid down on my back and did them over my head. And he called me a showboat. But then I found out the next day when I had left, he had to do another demo. And I found out he did the exact same thing.
Same thing. Yep.
That's Derek.
Well, if you've ever seen Dave Fitzgerald do these overheads.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
he sits
the guy's got to be double jointed or something.
It's called taking a squat.
Well, he does. He gets his feet way out on both sides and bends his knees, and he goes back, and he's almost horizontal, but he's still on his feet.
It's the
Tom
Jimmy
Looper
Cassell
does that.
method. It's the old
Tom
Jimmy
Looper
Cassell.
does that. Yeah.
Jimmy Cassell, wasn't he the one that kind of danced through the pattern?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a video of him once flying it. It was amazing. It's more fun watching him than watching the airplane.
It's true.
Did his Spectrum fly real good?
Which he had a bunch of them. You know, he had like
The last
73. He had 73 airplanes. He crashed a lot of airplanes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was at Randy Smith's one time, and he had a whole box of Tiger 60s that had been wrecked. He said, "These are Jimmy Cassell's." I said, "You got to be kidding." He said, "No, Brother Cassell crashes a lot of motors."
He did.
So that means he tears up a lot of airplanes, because that's
He
attached
built,
to a
I'll tell you what, he kept me in business for a while in wings.
I bet. I understand he bills about 4 a year.
What he did was he was a touring musician, and he would go to different motels, and he would take a straight edge, and he'd find the tables that were the flattest tables, and he'd make a note of the room number. So when he went back to that area, he'd call and true story. He would call and reserve that room, so he got that table that was flat, so he could build his airplanes on that table.
I've heard that story before. Yeah.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah. That's pretty neat.
He was a trip.
I have been so tempted to build his last Spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I don't know. I've heard that his airplanes didn't really fly that well. It's just that he beat them into submission.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've had plenty of planes like that.
You know, I don't want to speak ill of Jimmy, because I really like Jimmy. Jimmy's a great guy and a lot of fun.
Oh, I like Jimmy.
I could tell you Jimmy stories for about 4 hours. But the one thing about Jimmy was he builds them so fast. I don't think he was real careful in alignment. And every now and then he would get a chance blueprinted airplane that would be really, really good. And every now and then he'd get one that would turn faster one way or the other, or wouldn't lock or something. And so he just built another one. You know, he could accidentally build an airplane, you know.
Oh, Howard's getting ready to spray some death paint.
And then if they didn't fly, just stick more nose weight in and figure it was like the rock on a string principle. You know, put more nose weight in, they're gonna go straight, you know.
There's
one of his
with beating
substandard
them into
ones around the
submission. I've had
down,
plenty of
so-
airplanes like that. You just turn around, you beat it into submission.
Yeah. He was something.
Oh, the one. Go ahead.
I just have a question in general. I'm sorry. Are you guys done with the subject or?
No, go for it.
Go for it.
Well, I have tough time getting some stuff from my iPhone to the computer to download
Me
the
too.
pictures and videos. Any suggestions how to make them come out?
The best thing I found, Trey, is it's a chip thing that you plug into the phone and put it into that, and you plug it into the iPad. Now, if it's into the computer, I don't know. From iPad to computer, it's a lot of times a problem. Do what?
If you have an Apple.
Yeah, if it's Apple to Apple, it's not a problem. But if it's Apple to, I've got a Dell. Oh, that's a challenge.
Yeah, I can get the videos out of my phone to the. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. That is hard.
Can I do a little show and tell?
Yeah.
Sure.
Take you over to show you my new twin. It's all done here.
It's all done now.
Oh, cool.
And I have something. Also when Bob's done.
All right.
Oh, Lordy.
Is that gonna go to the Nats? Is that your Nats plane, Bob?
My plan.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Outstanding. It's almost bronze, isn't it?
It is. Well, it's metallic brown.
Yeah.
Everybody says it looks purple, but it's actually metallic brown. It's a Ford color, which is a big concession for me because I'm a Chevy guy, you know.
Now, it's no retracts on that one, right, Bob?
What's
Lou
that?
Wolgaston, you must have a good time then, Bob. Him being Mopar.
Have you got to fly it yet?
No. Tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
Is this the one
I love
without?
its lines, Bob.
Is this the one with or without retracts?
And if it doesn't fly, it's okay because or come right in. I got the crossfire working really good, so I'm ready to go with that.
Does this have retracts or not?
Yeah.
No, not intentionally.
What
thought you had
propellers are
retracts
you
on the
using
twin.
on your twin?
What that?
What propellers are you using?
Well, what's on there now are 9.4 E and EPs. And I also have 10.5 Es and EPs.
What brand?
They're APCs, but I also have some Zors, wooden props. What do I do with those? There they are. These are 10.5 Zors. And I have them in reverse pitches. So they'll probably be on the airplane. The only problem is I only have one set of them, but Rick Huff has two sets. So between us, we have one spare set. You know, but these only weigh 9 grams.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, those things are incredible light.
Yeah, it's really light.
And they work real well.
Yeah.
Bobby, that
What are you
thing's
running
pretty.
on
Show
the
us
red
that.
twin, Howard?
Show us the plane
Sorry?
again.
What's that?
I said, show us the plane again.
Oh, okay.
yeah, a little more in depth. Walk around it.
Walk around it. Walk around the airplane.
Like Vanna White. You know.
Oh, there we go. There's a nice side view of it now.
I see Steve. Where's the plane? The plane, boss.
A little closer here.
Here we go.
Oh, that's sweet.
That is pretty.
Thanks. Yeah, that's I've got a stink bug on the spinner.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, I guess you're praying this isn't another bronze dog, as Billy calls them.
I never had a bronze airplane. Everybody keeps calling them bronze airplanes. They were copper or metallic brown, but there were never a bronze one.
I know, but that was that joke about having it. Yeah, having it.
I think everybody's heard that story a number of times, so you know.
That's pretty cool.
Peter wants.
You know if Billy's going to come to the Nats and fly anything, or
I called him up to invite him because the guy I'm staying with, Joel Costantino, has a big travel trailer, and he said, "Call up Billy and invite him to come out, even if he just hangs out, you know." So I called him up and I left a message. I couldn't get through to him, and he hasn't called me back. But I'm hoping he will, because if he comes out, that'd be kind of fun to have him out there.
Hey, you guys,
leave a message and tell him you have another bronze airplane to show him. I know he'll show up then.
Oh, Steve, you're too many all by yourself. That's pretty cool.
All right.
Peter is trying to say something. He has his hand raised.
All right. I picked up one of these just the other day. It's it's a self-leveling,
laser level.
Laser level. What it is like, if you can see, it turns around and has a vertical and a horizontal.
I like that.
And I was looking on some online sites, and somebody was using this to get, the horizontals and the verticals when they're setting up their wing and stabilizers on an airplane to be perfectly square to one another. So they would line up the horizontal with the leading edge of the wing, and then they would turn around and make sure the rudder was perfectly aligned with the part of the laser, and then they would do the same thing on the stab. I've yet to try it, but I'm gonna give it a shot. It looks like it should do the trick.
That looks like a good idea.
What brand is
you
that?
got? I've already tried it. You got to mark your fuselage.
Yeah.
Find a where you're calling your fuselage level across it, and then line up the one, and then the other one will automatically line up.
Yeah. It seems it seems like it would work. And this one was cheap. It was all at $24.
Where'd you get it?
Amazon.
The only problem I had, Peter, was you can't work on it and level it and see it because you stand in front of the laser. So I'd have to try to get it, level the fuselage and stand back.
Oh, yeah, you'd stand back and you tweak. Yeah, obviously.
Right, you got to tweak it, come back, tweak it, and stuff like that to
I was suppose, yeah, you get some little thin shim material and tweak it until you shim it out and you stand back and everything looks square and then tack it into place or final glue it into place.
That was it. I was going to work on it more and I never did, but that was the only problem. I was always getting in the way of the laser.
Okay. Anyway, that's my little contribution. See if.
But you know what I was thinking? If you could put your airplane up like it's 6 foot or 5.5 feet, and have everything there, then you could be under it.
Yeah. Well, this does have a little screw in the bottom, so if you have a tripod, a photo tripod or something like that, you can sit it on there, and then you can put this to any height you want, really.
Yeah. But you got to get your airplane then up to that height too, and that's what
this is true.
You know, that's what I was looking at. But yeah, it seems like it'll work good. You know. It would be nice to have a little one that would like clip me into the wing.
No, I don't think these come that small.
No.
And I also bought it to use around the house because have you ever tried to get you put up pictures and you need to get all the frames roughly at the same height and make sure that you put the picture hanger on the wall so everything lines up the right way. This thing is going to make that job so much easier.
Call me old school, but I like to use 3 incidence meters to set my incidences up. I'm more worried about having the stab level with the wing and what and all of that, and I can do that with an incidence meter pretty easy. And,
yeah, I'm just throwing another.
No, don't get me wrong. I was going to get to what I think is good about yours is that once you played around this, you can set it back and line it onto your aircraft, and you can step back and look and see if you make sure you got it.
Yeah, and like I said, it wasn't like it was an exorbitant expense. Like I said, this was all of $24. So
I mean, that's a neat tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell, when I bought mine, I got it on sale for $100 and something. I mean,
oh gee,
you know, they come down in price, you know, so much over the last 7-8 years that.
Oh, I got a dumb question for you, Steve. You were talking about those batteries that go on a starter.
Yeah.
I have never used a starter on a control line airplane in my life, but of my own. But I do carry one because a lot of the guys want one. And I'd always carried it in a little box that's got 2 little 6-cell batteries in it. And I saw that thing y'all were talking about. What size battery are y'all using? Because the little battery will go right on the bottom of the starter and all be in one little unit. So that'd be a lot neater. But what size are you using?
I use a 4-cell battery just because that's the ones that I have extra of that have, you know, one of the cells have come off a little bit, you know, or it's puffy. I mean, but we've used 3-cell too, and they work fine. I had a friend that had a lot of 3 cells and he used the 3-cell battery.
Well, I think I've got a 4-cell. I'll give that a try.
It's
only 28. It's only 2,700, but I think it'll work.
Yeah, it'll work.
Oh, 2,700 will last you all year long.
Okay.
I usually charge mine once a year. If I go to a big contest, whatever, I'll throw another charge on it. But you have to do a lot of starting to run one of them batteries down.
Well, I got a buddy that every Saturday that he uses it, I bring it home and have to charge it. I mean, he'll sit there. I don't think he thinks about priming the motor. He just puts that thing on there. God, he uses his full minute start just trying to get it started with an electric starter, and he's grinding on the motor that whole time. Yeah, that's neat.
I wonder how he.
Yeah, I mean, we just zip tie it on there. You know,
it's interesting. It's interesting to know that the electric part always works.
Yeah. My electric nowadays, my electric starter works every time. I push a little button and 25 seconds later it comes to life.
Just wanted to make sure I got that in there. The electric part works.
Yeah, thank you.
Does it?
But yeah, this is a 3-cell here. My other ones are 4 cells, but I really haven't seen a difference in anything. But yeah, nobody likes the Royal starters because they don't set, they got that funky stand on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got a piece of aluminum, some L channel, and then put that on there with 3 screws and then zip tie a battery to it. And I mean, this is the one we always took to the Nats because the Royal starters never gave me any problems.
I got one of those little K vans. It's about, but the whole thing's about that big around.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no stand on it. I'll have to figure out a stand, but that's no problem. I'll come up with something.
That's the same one that I have. The same
It's a
one
little
that I
bitty
have.
starter, but it'll start a 72 4-stroke just fine.
Do they still make those?
I don't think so.
No.
Pete, if you ever take it apart to put new wires in it or anything, make sure you have plenty of patience because it's going to take you a while to put it back together.
I would expect so with the planetary gears and that thing.
Oh God, it didn't take long to take it apart, but it took me probably an hour to put that thing back together right.
Yeah, that's the same thing with that Royal. I dropped the dumb thing and it knocked something off in there. We took it apart, man. It was hard to get back. We messed and finally got it back. It didn't have planetary gears, but how stuff was wired and would go back in. But yeah, we took the bolts out. It came apart really easy. But there were some directions on how to tuck how all that shit went back in there right.
I can't remember how it worked, but I remember I used spring hook and everything else to hold it in place. So I get this in there, and then as soon as that's in, you got to pull this spring hook out, and that goes up, and then you pull this back, and that comes out, and you got all the pieces on. Oh crap! I can't get this all the way out.
No, hey, Phil, you're going to the Nats, right?
Use a GM starter holder.
No, I was going to go, but I'm talking too loud apparently. I was planning to go, but we're not going to get the plane done in time, not even close. It don't look like, and there's just no reason to go and not fly again. I've done that too many times.
Hey, is that Howard or is that Marty McFly? No, he left. He left now.
He's getting ready to paint some death paint. So
what is he painting Imran?
Yeah, something he calls it death paint. I think that's what they call Imran. You got to do it outside and have masking and everything else on, so you don't breathe the fumes.
I was getting ready to do that to my boat, and I got thinking about it. And I said, I think I'll sand it down and get it ready. And there's a guy who wants a small fortune to paint it, but if he can do a good job and do it and not harm himself, if that's what he wants to paint him, I'm going to pay him because it's not worth it for me to do it. That's just too much fumes. That boat is too big. It's only 19 feet, but wow, that's a lot of paint. That's a lot of paint. Bob, you did a beautiful job on that plane.
Thank you, sir.
Let me interrupt you guys. I'm kind of late on the chat talk. Okay, Sparky said hammer, and I'm sure we passed that subject, whatever it was. Then Mark Lumen says, hey guys, computer went into the update mode, locked me out of the Zoom. And then he went on to say, I'm going to hit the sack. And Sparky says, I used my thumb. I think that's regarding the starter. And then I guess we talked about the starter batteries. And then he says, until it goes up in smoke.
Yeah.
And then Sparky goes on to say, Howard is suiting up to go to the moon. And Dan Winship says, Sparky needs Howard's suit when he's pulling weeds at the field.
Oh my goodness.
So we're all caught up. And again, you guys, I apologize if you want to raise your hand, I don't see it right away, or if you're waiting in the lobby and you're waiting for me to come in to let you in. This is a brand new platform for me, and it's a lot of spinning plates, and different than how they were before. So I will get a hang of it. Just be patient with me.
So Phil, why can't you go to fly at the Nats?
I didn't get the plane finished.
Oh,
I'm not the plane that I'm flying. I didn't build, and I won't do that. That's not, I realize that everybody says that's a rule that should be abolished, but it's still in effect, and I won't do that.
You got your humbug, don't you?
Yeah, I could go fly classic, but I probably could get the new humongous finished in time and go fly old time and classic. I've done that before, but I really wanted to come fly advanced this year, and not going to get a chance to do it.
Fly the humbug in advanced.
Yeah,
No.
advanced. You can fly anything you want in advance. You just don't get the points.
Yeah, I just well, I know, but there's too much going on right now, and I've got too many irons in the fire. That's like tomorrow.
I'm going to fly advanced.
Yeah. Okay, Bob. You
can fly electric.
I guess you can have a doctor's note saying that you've had some deterioration in your ability, so you should fly in advance.
Oh, if you watch me fly, I've had a lot of deterioration in my abilities. Like looking straight overhead is a real challenge. I got a shoulder that goes in and out, and I can be flying and it goes out, and then I'm sitting there. The guy swore I flew left-handed the other day. I had to put my other hand up there, and they swore I was flying left-handed. Tommy said, go ahead.
I think we should have a veterans class. Anybody over, well, in my case, anybody over 73. And instead of flying, we all just convinced about how we used to fly, and whoever does the best story wins.
I heard the AMA was going to put in a veterans class, but then everybody would be in it anyway, so it didn't really matter.
It's about the truth. It's about the truth. It'd be anybody over, if it's anybody over 65, it'd be a bunch of us in it. I'm 66 now.
You'd have juniors, veteran, and that'd be the only two classes.
Yeah, that's about it.
Let me.
I tell you what, Trayan, how's that plane coming? I got here late. How's it coming?
Well, it's what can I say? I have some. Let me make
paint issues.
So I just got the vinyl cutting up and running, and everything is working fine. I just need to do some painting now.
Now, you're using?
I was just sharing this with the guys today. It's like how I do the painting. I have a big stencil and I peel off like whatever I want to paint, and then shoot it. And once that's done, so for example, I want to do another color. Here's just quick example. Let's say I want to do this other color as the next color. All I do is just peel it off, and I have a new space to play.
Oh man, yeah.
So just
how's it working?
Keep going one after another. Right now, it's working very well. I mean, it's releasing nicely and stuff like that. So maybe it's releasing too nice. That's my problem. So I need to change the. I have a release system which has a different slip built into it. So right now this is number 3, and number 3 seems to be a little bit too slippy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to number 1, which is a little bit less slippy. It's gonna.
Are you using regular vinyl, or are you using that tack mask or whatever they call it, paint mask?
This is the masking vinyl, but I can just use the normal one as well. Yeah.
Well, what we used, what I'm using now, I cut it on my Cricut. I've got a Cricut maker, and I'm laying stuff out with on the stuff you use on a. I cannot think of the name of it. Shelf paper. It's not real tacky, and it doesn't pull the paint up so bad.
Contact brand.
Yeah, I don't have that issue at all. So here's another. You see, it's like on this stencil right now, I have every single color that I have to do. So say if I want to paint this guy here, I'll just use
contact paper. Yep. Howard, what kind of, are you using Emerald?
See that?
No, it's BPG stuff.
No, they have big beans. They just had baked beans for dinner.
You guys, let me interrupt you again. The chat box has been a little bit active. Okay, so Sparky was talking about no level, the thumb. He uses his thumb to do the alignment. And his comment regarding contest is that this is a modeling contest, not a buy and fly contest.
I agree. I agree. The buy and fly, or somebody gave it, is fun for practice and fooling around. But when I go to a contest, I want to fly something I built.
Yeah, the buy and fly is called FAI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, advanced, you don't have to build your own aircraft, because that's not a real Pampa event anyway.
Yeah, Steve, but the whole thing is though, Steve, it's just personal, whatever. I've seen so many guys come and fly planes that somebody else. There's one that showed up a few years ago. I know darn well Wendy built that airplane. And that just kind of sealed it for me. I'm not going to fly something in a contest that I didn't build. Now, in old time, that may not be true because I've loaned so many airplanes. Now I go to contests and everybody wants to here, fly mine, fly mine.
Well, there was a case. I'm not gonna say what it was, but there was a case in stunts history, and Denny knows this, where a guy borrowed an airplane from a very prominent flyer. Everybody knew who airplane it was. And he won the nationals with it, and no one protested it.
Wow.
Then he knows what I'm talking about.
And he got appearance points, or he didn't get appearance points?
No, he got appearance points and won the nationals.
That's not right.
No, it's not.
No, it's not right.
And it kept the guy from winning the nationals, who should have won several nationals and was second a few times, but he never got to win one. He would have won it had he protested that airplane, because everybody knew who built the airplane.
Wow.
Was everybody scared of him?
One of those guys that never won. Did he ever win the nationals?
Who?
The guy that was in second place that should have won.
No, he never did win.
Oh no, that's a shame.
Yeah.
You think people?
Well, all I'm saying is that as long as you're honest about the rules, if the rule says you don't have to build and you get no points, appearance points, and you say, okay, I did not build this, I don't get appearance points, and then you went and won, that's playing by the rules. It's the ones that don't, lie. As long as you're not lying, then I got no problem. As long as you're doing the rules right.
Well, I agree with you, but it's just like I say, it's just personal preference. I just want to win with something that I built.
In the open, don't you have to build?
Yeah,
in open,
in
you
the
do.
open, you do.
But see, I'm not an open flyer yet.
Right.
I still fly advanced.
But for the national championship, that would be an open flyer, right?
Right, and then you got to, and that's the rules for open. They were different. It's different for advanced. And I think it was different for expert. You didn't have to build an expert plane either, because they're not true Pampa events. There's only junior, senior, open. That's the only three you got to build for.
Steve, the beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert are Pampa events. You're talking about AMA events.
Oh, AMA, yeah, they're Pampa events, not the AMA event.
Wait a minute. Advanced is not a Pampa event anymore. It's an official event now.
It is.
It is? Cool.
Oh, it is it's an AMA event now?
It's been an official event for several years.
Yeah, all the skill classes are AMA events. Junior, senior, open is also is a separate event from the beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert.
So that's 322 or 324 or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Denny, check this out. This is the handle that remember that you inspired.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that one compared to that one.
Wow.
What's the deal there?
I just wanted a bigger handle, get more control in. This is the handle I used at the 73 National on the 35.
Wow.
That's a big handle, man.
Wow, that is a big handle.
That is massive.
Let me see what the spacing is. Hold on.
How big was the bell crank? I mean,
that's 5 inches.
Oh, wow.
Good grief.
How big was your bell crank?
The 3 inches in those days were a 3-inch bell crank.
I could fly a school bus with that thing.
I could fly a bronze school bus.
Yeah, exactly.
With your dog at your side.
Hey, Len.
I'm gonna transition to the after party, and so unlike the other platform, I have no idea how many watchers we have, likes we have. I'm totally in the dark, but I'm hoping that our people have been giving us likes, and I'm hoping that we've viewers. So this has been a good show. It's our first show on this platform, Zoo Pro, and I hope to get a better handling of it. But I want to thank you very much. We're going to end the stream, but we're going to continue on. We're just going to cut the live stream feed. So I'm going to say good night to all out there in YouTube land. And Sparky would say, airplanes and tight lines. Hope you go out there and have some fun and come back and talk about it Monday. Thank you for everybody's participation. Thank you for coming into the chat. Thank you